Before installing the software and configuring the system, it is advisable to connect and test all devices to be used with this point of sale, such as printers, barcode scanners, scales, customer display, etc., and install the drivers provided by the manufacturer and thus ensure that they are fully operational before installing the software. Using the new setup option, we can create a new system configuration. The demos option allows testing the application, selecting and using a list of pre-configured demo systems for different scenarios. This option should only be used if you want to test the system, and it must not be used to create a permanent installation. Select the option New Setup. With this option, the system will create the database files for the first time and proceed to open a configuration wizard that will guide you through the setup process. The wizard lets you choose from 4 options. Perform a single installation, where a single computer will be used to input information and for billing. The next alternative is to install a server, so that then, through a local area network, multiple points of sale or workstations can be connected to this server. The third option allows you to connect a point of sale to a server previously installed, and the fourth option to connect a back-office workstation to a server previously installed. If you want to install multiple points of sale stations, we must first install the computer that will act as the server, and then proceed to install another point of sale or workstation to connect to a server. We will select the single installation of a single point of sale. Then we will press continue and the system will allow us to select the product version. It can be the version Kildar point of sale for retail, restaurant for gastronomy, store version for wholesalers, and hospitality version for hotels and resort management. We will install a restaurant version. In turn, we can select the Lite, Pro, or Enterprise version within that product, which offer different levels of functionality. We will select the Lite version, the most basic, and we could select additional modules that can be purchased separately. We press Next and select here which is the main printer to issue receipts. We must choose at least one printer, which will be the one that issues the receipts generated by the POS. This printer can be connected by Windows drivers, both local or in a network by OPOS drivers, which must be pre-configured for the printer. Or we can simply choose no printing. In that case, the system will emulate the selling scenario but will not generate a printed sales document. We select Windows and then we can choose a pre-configured profile for specific models so that the typography and format of Kildar documents fit these particular models. We select the Kildar printer and press Next. In this window, we can configure different types of devices associated with the POS. For example, cash drawer, magnetic stripe readers, scales, keyboards, etc. Any of these devices can be connected at this point to the system. Many of these, such as a keyboard or a drawer, can be recognized automatically by the operating system, so sometimes it is not needed to configure this field. Other devices, such as client's display, can be configured at this point, and we can select from a list a device preset with the system. We will press Next, and at this point we will select the working model of the restaurant. 2 alternatives are presented. The first being direct selling model, generally used in food courts or cafeteria, in which the customer is billed at the time he is served. The second alternative is to manage table service. In this case, the addition and maintenance of the items added to each of the tables is handled. It allows the issue of the final addition when the client requests the payment. We will select the one which has the option of managing a general map of tables or the option of handling individual table maps for each of the waiters. In that way, we can have sectors assigned to each waiter, and they can only work on their assigned tables. We choose the simplest option, the general map of tables. Then we will indicate the waiter's management. We can select between 3 options: not handling waiters, forcing the system to identify the waiter when adding at the table, and so, for example, then have access to sales reports by that waiter, or forcing the system to identify the waiter and at the same time blocking the terminal so as to be identified each time he enters to the system. This is only recommended in the event that the terminal is exposed to the public, and so the waiter must enter his password or card every time he performs an operation. We will select the option Identifies Waiter and press the next button. A new window will open in which we have to enter the data of the company. We will enter the company name, the address, what is the tax rate of the state, and if there is a local tax rate of the county. These are the taxed values that will be related to items by default. We must also enter tax identification data of the company, as the code of employer or tax identification number. In addition, we must enter a password for the first entry into the system and confirm. We can enter the logo of the company at this point as an image file that will be presented at the point of sale and in reports generated. Once this process is complete, we will press the Finish button to record the settings. The system performs various configuration and data updating functions and prepares to run the application for the first time. Once the process finishes, we will press the Exit button so the system starts the point of sales for the first time. When entering for the first time to the system will consult us about the activation key. The system can be activated at this time, it can be deferred for later, which will allow us to operate for 7 days, or we can select a demo mode, which can evaluate the system for 45 days with certain restrictions. In this case, we will select Activate Later. The key entry means the entry of the license granted an online validation via Internet. We enter for the first time to the system, and we can observe the operators that are defined. In this case, we only have the administrator, created during the setup wizard. We will select it and enter the key indicated in the wizard. Any of these operations can be performed using the touch screen or keyboard. When entering for the first time, a menu of administrative configuration options is presented. It is convenient to uncheck the option to display this menu every time we enter and be able to operate continuously at the point of sale. Once we uncheck this option, we will enter to the point of sale. The system was configured to work with tables, whereupon a table with the addition of empty tables will be presented. In this case, we must configure a tables map by selecting the Table Layout button on the right. Here we will find a tool that allows us to define our various maps or levels of tables with which we want to work. The system supports up to 6 levels of tables. First, we will select an image to be used as background, which we can design with a design software or use a plane provided by the architect responsible for the design of the facility. Then we will indicate how many tables we want to have at this level. In this case, we will choose 10 tables. We will also indicate the initial number of table, in this case 1, and the final 10. Press the button to create tables. Then we will press the button Edit Tables Map, which will allow us to design the position of each table on the map. For this very purpose, the table initially positioned at the top of the screen must be dragged with the right mouse button to correspond with their actual location. This will make it possible to know the state of the room very quickly by glancing at the screen. Finally, we will press the Save button, then exit to return to the initial table selection window. We can see that now the map is shown with the newly created tables in their assigned position. To access one of the tables and create an order, we must simply click it on the touch screen or with the mouse. For example, we will choose the table 4. The system will ask the number of guests on that table and we will confirm with Enter. The system will let us select the waiter. In this case, there is only the default waiter. However, we can use the button to the right to add one. The name is entered, and we can create a password or associate a security card and thus identify the waiter by using a magnetic stripe card. Additionally, we can attach an image of the waiter to display on the waiter selection window. The system allows creating an associated account so that all sales by the waiter are tallied by the same waiter, and so keep track of the money raised by him. This option is used if the servers handle a wallet. We will press Save and Return. It is necessary to select the waiters that will work on each shift. So with the Add to Shift button, we will select the recently created waiter to indicate that he is working in this shift. This window displays the total sale, a list of the products added to the table, and it has a momentarily empty space to display products of the touchscreen menu, and to the right there are columns with actions options. In this case, we have not created a menu yet. We can start doing it with the Add Product button. A data entry window is presented, and we can associate a barcode to the product and thus sell it through a scanner. Now we will enter the description and we may associate a department. We can use a predefined one or create a new one with the plus button to register new departments, or select one of the presented to the right and change its name, for example, beverages. Departments can also be used as means of access to the products on the touchscreen. There are probably many more items on our menu than what can be displayed on the touchscreen. These products can be grouped using departments and thus organize our menu. If we create a group associated to the department and save it, we can see that in our main menu a group with the same name of the department is created, involving products related to the department. We could create an alternative code for this product. We enter the selling price and the system brings the tax rate by default. If it were different, we could modify it. We can associate a new supplier for this product and get sales information by supplier, and various reports. We will create a supplier using the plus button and the new supplier option. We enter the information that we believe necessary and press Save and Return. There is no need to create it each time we load a product. It is only necessary to have defined it once and then we simply select it from the drop-down list. Here we select whether or not we want to send orders to production centers when this item is selected. In this case, the option to not send is checked, as we have no defined production centers. We will use the plus key and create our new production center. We will indicate a description and associate the appropriate printer associated to the system. In this case, one that prints in digital format, and additionally the specific format for the model we want to use is selected. Anyway, most thermal printers are compatible with Epson's format. Once the sector is created, we press Save and Return to go back to the Items Load window. Additionally, we can choose whether this product allows instructions or preparations. We will indicate that it allows it. We can create instructions to the right and associate them to the product by checking box. We can also manually type instructions when selecting the product, but presetting the most commonly used ones saves considerable time. Then we will add an image from a preloaded images database in the products folder of the programmed folder. If we don't attach an image, the system displays the text description on its place. Now we will press Save. On the one hand, we have a defined group, in this case beverages, and within it a product, which is sold by simply clicking on it. We will add another product. Note that the system repeats the data of the last product created, so that the load of similar products is easier. Since we add another drink, it is only necessary to change the description. In this case, discard the image and associate the corresponding preparations. We will save the product and see that we now have a second item within the same beverage group. With the back option, we will return to the main menu, where we can see the beverages group. We will create a new product so as to create a new group. We will create a side and associate a new exclusive department for sides. We select that a group related to the department is created. We can change the supplier and create a new sector of orders. In this case, the orders for this product will go to the kitchen. The printer and the print format is defined. As in previous products, we will associate preparations. At this point, we have two groups in the touchscreen menu, beverages and sides. We will select the last one and add the newly created product to the bill. By pressing the instructions button to the right, we can select the instructions for this order. After creating the order, we will press the back button. The system will update the table and issue the orders in the kitchen in this case. We will notice that the table 4, which made the last orders, is green, indicating that it's busy. By reopening the table, we will see that the orders previously entered are registered. We can select one of those products and with the boy key to the right, remove it from the bill. When the client asks for the bill, the total button is pressed to enter the means of payment, or we can issue a pre-check with the button to the right. The number of guests at the table is indicated once more, and the system issues a control ticket so that the customer can review the bill. We will notice that the color of the table changed again, but in this case to orange, indicating that a pre-check has been issued for that table. We open this table again, press total, and we can close the sale with one of the fast means of payment options. By pressing cash, the sale is closed without calculating change, because it is assumed that it was a precise cash payment. As when choosing a card, if we had chosen one of the bills and there was money left, the change would have been calculated. We confirm the operation and the system asks one last time the number of guests, to later on use the information in reports. The final sales receipt is issued. As we can see, it is very simple to create the first products, start operating, and issue a sales receipt very quickly. Coming back from the tables map window, we will enter to the operation mode selection window. Here we could select the direct billing mode or issue refunds. To the right, we find the administration button. It allows us to enter a window where administrative tasks are performed, such as defining additional data, view reports, perform the daily closing, and use system tools or access to the full back-office system, where all administrative functions are found. Pressing point of sale, we could return to the previous window. We will press the System Data option. Here we are allowed to define secondary information such as an operator. It is important to define it, as the operator created by default, the administrator, has all rights and privileges, such as defining new products, operators, change prices, etc., which is not usually suitable for all system users. We will press Operators and the system displays a window that will allow us to manage existing operators and create a new one using the new button at the top right. The alias is requested, and the user level to which he belongs, in this case operator, which means the user can make sales but cannot access administrative functions. Then we must provide a password and repeat it. The option of entering an ID for the user's card is presented, in the case that the same are used to identify users. It can be magnetic stripe or barcode. If for some reason the card should be changed in the future, it is necessary to return to this window and edit this field with the new information from the user's card. We could also associate an image, and finally we will enter the last and first name. By pressing save and return, the new operator is defined. In this window, it is possible to perform maintenance of information of sellers, departments, suppliers, and orders printing sectors. If more configuration options are desired, there is a full back office available with all administrative functions, a separate application that can be launched from the point of sale in this instance. Certain report options are available within the point of sale in the reports option. For example, the sales summary report. We will select the dates. A consolidated total sales by department, document, and total means of payment received with discrimination tax report is displayed. We could print the report directly from this window. Other reports such as sales per hour allow us to see the distribution of operations by hour, with half an hour ranges with the amount of sales with an average ticket.